How's it going, brother?
Good evening. Good evening. I'm good. Thanks for having me back. I'm back. Happy to be back.
Uh,
I'm confused. What happened while I was gone? Who are these guys?
I think you might be the problem, Dustin.
Well, I mean, not tonight.
How was dinner?
It was delicious. Yeah, no, it was a good night out, and it was nice to catch the highlights of the game and the end of the game there, beating Washington, and now carrying on some of that energy into tonight's game. It's really good to see.
Yeah, it is good. And then you showed up just for the last couple minutes to see me screw up on the post game show as hard as I have since we started this. So
That that made the night. That was just too funny. I was laughing so hard. Katie was laughing so hard. We were like, when is he going to figure it out? Chat is just rolling. Everyone's giving you a hard time. And I was like, yeah, he'll get there eventually.
It's the thing about doing a stream with one screen. Like I have a Chromebook here too, but that's just got like controls on it. Most streamers will have
Yeah.
a second window, so they kind of have both. When I go over and start doing stuff on that window, I cannot see anything going on in chat. So keeps things interesting.
It's fair. It's fair.
So let's hop into tonight's game because it's been pretty fun so far. We've got the Vancouver Canucks up 2-0 after 2 periods. What are you seeing for ups so far? Because I think there might be a few today.
That was a really good period. That's the best period I've watched in a while of these guys play. So I had quite a bit to pick up on there. Obviously, Hughes being Hughes. What patience and what a pass to get under the skates of the sliding defender to find Garland at the back door. Just an incredible play early in the game to get the guys going. His first shot on net for us and bury it. So that was nice. Gave the guys some jump. And then it was good on Miller taking the fight on the next faceoff. Shen's looking to spark his team that's been struggling at home. Miller's been struggling to kind of be engaged, so that kind of forces him to get into the game early. It was good to see. I think he lost a chicklet or two there with the quick right from Shen. I think that's why he had to go to the locker room, but good on him for taking that fight, especially with everything and questioning his commitment to the team and the game right now. That's a good sign to see him doing something like that, especially after last game. I saw that just boneheaded penalty he took, that interference penalty, which almost looked like just self-sabotage at that point when you have such a good game against the top team and you go and do that. So it's nice to see him a little more engaged, playing the right way tonight, kind of channeling himself. So that was good. We saw some good zone pressure from the Miller line after that, after he got out of the box, which moved into the Garland line. Some really good zone time around the 13-minute mark. Garland clearly listening to Tocchet's message of getting to the middle, not only on his goal, both goals, but he had a couple of hard drives to the net there too. Had a chance at the hat trick, but we kind of fanned on the shot. But he's buzzing. He's winning his board battles. He's moving his feet fast, and he's getting to those dirty areas. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see him get the third one here early in the second half of this game.
Yeah, JT Miller picking up an assist on that second Connor Garland goal too. So good to see the 26 assists of the season for JT Miller. So clearly he's still putting up some numbers despite the fact that things have been spinning around this team with all the rumors that are coming in.
Pretty ugly. It was good. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say it was good for him to get that assist because there was a pretty ugly turnover by him on the power play there. So he I don't know if that was what you were going to talk about, but won the face off, gets nice possession. We get set up and he just dumps it right in the middle, right in trying to get in between two Blues players and turns us back. And our problem on our power play has been re-entering the zone. So it was good that we were able to recover. Miller gets an assist on that, so it kind of washes out that play. And then the other one player I wanted to talk about was Myers, who had some really nice reads in the defensive end in his return back. So it's good to see, bring some stability to the defensive lineup. And he cut off a couple of passes there, just being in the right spot and getting his stick in the right places and not taking any penalties in the process.
I was going to point out the Canucks were brutal in the faceoff to start this game. They've only won 35% of the faceoff so far. That's probably something that they can't sustain for the rest of this game, eh?
No, they're gonna have to win more. But I think also there was only like 5 faceoffs in that first period. There wasn't much stoppage of play. The 2 goals, and then I think maybe 1 or 2 stops after that. Not really many. So winning the important ones, won the one on the power play and that sort of thing. So hopefully, if there's more stoppages in the second here, we're a little more even on that stat. But overall, really good road period to start a road trip here. We haven't had a 2-0 lead in the first intermission, and oh, when was the last time? I can't even remember. I don't have it written down because it's probably so long ago.
Nobody remembers. It's so long ago.
It's those records have disintegrated already.
Yeah. Are you a little surprised the coach's challenge didn't work? Because I felt like there was quite a lot of contact, Quinn Hughes shoving Holloway, or was it just the fact that Holloway was essentially entering the crease before Quinn Hughes put his hands on him?
I think it was the path of Holloway had a bit to do with it, and then his reluctance to kind of get out of the crease after the contact with Hughes. He just kind of lingered and hung around. So that's one of those ones where the ref made the call on the ice, and you have to have definitive evidence to overturn it. It's just a tough one because the call on the ice was what it was. If it was called a goal and the Canucks challenged it, I probably would have been a little more wary of challenging that sense. But St. Louis hasn't had a bench minor all year, so I guess it's a good time for them to get their first one and way to make them pay on that power play that we got, because those are the ones that you have to cash in on when the other team makes a mistake. So very good to get up 2-0 here, and hopefully we can keep driving the play like we have been. Binnington appears to be fighting the puck a bit tonight. He's looking behind himself a couple times on some further out shots, so we got to keep the shots coming, keep them quick. The power play was good, snapping it around and then getting it quick to the net and then cleaning up the trash. So we just need to keep doing that, get our guys to the middle, like Tocchet has been saying, get the shot through, and we'll be getting more of these garbage goals. We're starting to drive the play a little more, which this is probably the most exciting period I've seen these guys play in a month or two.
I'd say like this is probably the best first period of a game after a win that we've seen the Canucks, because it just seems whenever they get a win, they come in and they lay a stinker in the first period. So it's good to see them come out and put the pedal to the metal, and they outshot them 12-4. Like this is, again, we talk about Canucks logic. This is reverse roles. Usually it's the Canucks who are getting outshot 12-4 in the first period. So that's a big up for them so far.
Very true. Yep.
D Peteys, Elias Pettersson in his second game tonight. I wanted to get your reaction on him overall so far through the first game and the first period that he's played. So far, maybe a little bit of nerves a couple times there in the first game, but other than that, man, he has shown some confidence. He's boxing guys out. He looks like he's really getting good already. Do you think they're gonna have a hard time getting him out of the lineup, or do you think he's getting out of the lineup pretty quick here?
I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. It's like you took him right off the page. No, you asked me what to say about him, but you pretty much said it. I love that he got a second game. He did show some really good signs of moving the puck. The one rush he made, I saw the clip of the rush he made from end to end. Just confident movement, confident with the puck. And he's also not afraid to get into the corners, muck it up. He's going to make it hard on the opposing players to forecheck. That's what we've been lacking, is someone who's going to throw a hit first, has the confidence to throw that body contact, and will be able to get the puck after the contact. So that's something that's a huge up to him. And like you said, he's seen, from the clips I saw from game one, it seemed like he had a little bit of hesitation on some plays, likely nerves and things. But tonight looks very confident, very calm. He made some quick passes. Looked to be operating more on instinct rather than, trying to play. And so, it's easy to see why he's been selected as an AHL All-Star in his rookie AHL season, because he sees the game well and he has converted to the North American ice very well, which was probably one of the biggest concerns with his development, was going from international size ice to the North American size ice. But his angle work, cutting guys off, his paths that he takes to the puck are really really clean, and he reads the play really well, and that physicality he brings, something we're not used to seeing from like, European players. He really deserves to be in the lineup right now, and I hope that that he can get some longevity up here because he's earned it with his AHL play 100%.
I wouldn't mind him missing that AHL All-Star game because he's still playing for the Vancouver Canucks. I would be fine with that.
Yeah, I think he'd be okay with that as well.
Yeah. Well, we've got the Four Nations Cup coming up, and then we just had news come out from the Vegas Golden Knights. Pietrangelo has chosen to pull himself out of the tournament due to an injury, and then on the same day they make that announcement, he's playing.
Yeah.
So what, like, do you want to see maybe some of the Canucks who are battling injuries? Like, do we want to see Miller or Hughes or Petey go and play if they're dealing with something? Or, what is your stance on players pulling themselves out of this tournament?
I mean, obviously, it's a bad look for how seriously the players are taking this tournament, so to speak. Should selected Canucks sit out? If it is a serious injury, then absolutely you should take the time to rest and recuperate a little bit. That being said, it might also be a good chance to get a taste of fun hockey again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not so focused on the defensive side. You can reset the losing mentality and get back the offensive fun touch that the guys are kind of missing, our top guys, the guys that are going to be going. So let's be honest, the NHL doesn't want 2-1 games in this tournament. I mean, they want these games to be high intensity, high offense games. So it'd be a good opportunity for someone like Petey to get out there and maybe get some of that touchback of going north-south and cutting to the middle and using his puck handling skill to generate some space for himself. And who knows, it might be a good chance for Petey and Miller to drop the gloves and settle some of this BS rumor crap that we've been hearing. Maybe they can go toe-to-toe in the Four Nations Cup and show each other who's boss that way.
Now that would be a highlight package to watch. I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but I was just watching the Blue Line Hockey put out a video, and he essentially said, are the Canadians really regretting their decision-making process on the roster? And he was talking mainly about the goaltending situation, because we got Binnington in net tonight. He's looking pretty shaky right now. We got Montembeault, and then they've got Aiden Hill from Vegas. But as well, Thompson in Washington just signs a big deal. He's probably the best Canadian goalie in the NHL right now. He's not playing for the Four Nations Cup. How worried are you about Canada's goaltending going into this tournament?
I was worried right up. I felt they shouldn't have selected the goalies until like a couple weeks before the tournament, because we had talked about the international weakness of Canadians goalies, Canada's goalies right now. There hasn't been that like star goalie for Canada in a while. Something that we've kind of been used to and spoiled with forever. I mean, look back at the history of Canadian goaltenders, and it's unreal the list of names you can go through. And now we're kind of at that place where it's like, who's going to be hot at the time? But much like Vegas made a bit of a goof by letting Thompson walk, Canada missed the mark on that one. I think he was hindered a bit early in the season by the job sharing he was doing with Lindgren. However, he has definitely emerged as the sole starter of that Washington Capitals team. What a season he is putting together so far. So absolutely, I think there's going to be some question marks when it comes to the Canadian goaltending, but then again, there's enough talent up front that should be able to outscore some of those problems or keep enough of the possession that maybe goaltending isn't as much of an issue as we're worried about.
Yeah.
Also, really, any goalie going to this tournament is probably not thinking about goals against average and just trying to stop like one or two a game, because there's a lot of talent coming at you every shift. So
massive trade in the NHL. One you don't see a lot of these. So Rantanen traded, Taylor Hall traded, two players both going to Carolina, and then Colorado getting Drury and Netchus back, and then some picks as well, and then Chicago doing something, getting a third pick, and then retaining half of Rantanen's salary. So obviously, we're in a season where it looks like nobody's untouchable. Obviously, for the Canucks, Hughes is untouchable. He's probably the only one. Does this make you think it's more likely that Miller and or Petey gets traded, or do you think it's less likely now that one of them gets moved?
I think the scary part is it sounds like lately Pettersson's the more likely one to be moved. Unfortunately, when you hand a player a full no movement clause, they hold the power. And JT Miller holds the power. Whether they want him gone or not, if he doesn't want to go anywhere, he doesn't have to go anywhere. And that was something that Alvin and company gave him in that large extension they signed him to. That being said, you look on the flip side of, okay, what happens if you trade Pettersson? I get where a lot of fans are at with Petey and how their frustrations come through with the lack of offense and the lack of taking over a game that he has right now. But he's 26 years old. I saw a stat earlier, there are only 40 players in the history of the NHL that have scored over 100 points under the age of 23, and Pettersson is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Those are players you don't give up on and you don't trade too early. I look back in history and I was trying to think of kind of a contract situation or of recent memory that was kind of like, okay, this player got their money, but then severely underperformed. And I think about William Nylander. Back in 2018, when he got that massive raise from his entry level contract to $7 million, and it took him about 4 years to actually earn that money that he was given. And imagine where the Maple Leafs would be right now if they had traded William Nylander and given up on him. And don't get me wrong, William Nylander and Pettersson are in no way the same player. However, the offensive touch and the hockey sense that Pettersson has on both sides of the puck are something that are buildable, and they have a higher ceiling. You cannot just give up on that asset, especially when you've committed to him for 8 years and then 4 months later now you're looking to move him. It just is organizationally is a bad look, and I think it would go down as probably the worst trade in Canucks history.
Yeah. You can't win that trade. There's no way it happens. Quickly, we already did the Abby Canucks update while you were gone. Big win. Now they're on an 8-game winning streak, but Lekkerimäki did go hard on the board. So we have an update on Lekkerimäki.
Yeah, just a quick update. It seems to be nothing major. Looks like he's just going to be a little day-to-day for now. We haven't had any commitment on the injury, which we may not get, but hopefully we see him back in the lineup soon and practicing. But no major injury, even though it was quite a scary crash into the boards there. So they got the 8-game win streak going, and hopefully he can continue it, and Lekkerimäki won't miss much time.
It's good to hear. All right, brother, we'll talk again in the post-game show.
Sounds good.
Nothing is perfect.